Okay, we're going to continue talking in Chapter 1, and we're going to refer to several standard-setting bodies for the different types of government and not-for-profit entities. The first one is GASB, G-A-S-B, and I'm going to show you a list in the next video about these items written out. I've got a chart that I will show you, so don't worry about it at this point. We'll review it when we come to the next video. But GASB is Government Accounting Standards Board, and it sets the rules for state and local governments, including the school system. FASB, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, which you're familiar with, you studied about it in your financial accounting, sets the guidelines for non-profits or not-for-profits. You will hear me use those terms interchangeably in this class. Thirdly, the last one, you've got the Federal Accounting Standards Advisory Board, FASAB. Very similar to FASB, but it's just got an extra A in it. FASAB, Federal Accounting Standards Advisory Board. And it's the standard setting body for the federal government. Again, the next video will have these items listed on a chart. You'll be able to see them. They're also referred to in Chapter 1. Another thing I'd like to cover is the budget emphasis that you have in government accounting. In private enterprise, budgets are not required. In some governmental entities, they are. And the governing body, which is an example, the Wake County Public School Board, will authorize and limit specific expenditures, okay, specific expenditures through the budgeting process. And you can read and follow the issues depending on the time of the year. If it's late spring and early summer, there will be a lot of articles in the local newspaper about the relationship and the give and take and back and forth between the Wake County Public School Board and the Wake County Commissioners. The Wake County Commissioners are the ones that levy the taxes, as I mentioned in the the Wake County tax bill that you'll receive and pay, and they take the revenue and divide it up, and a certain amount will go to the school districts. Okay. Let's switch gears. I want to talk about funds, and we mentioned fund balance in the previous video, but I want you to understand, and this is a very important concept, the concept of funds. Funds are separate physical and accounting entities that are segregated or separated according to the purposes or activities for which they are to be used. We've gone through a couple of examples, and I'm hoping you're reading about them or will read about them in Chapter 1. General Fund and Enterprise Fund. The General Fund is one that all government entities are required to have. All government entities are required to have. And there is only one, hear me, one general fund within each government entity. The general fund is like a catch-all fund. It is necessary for the government for certain operating expenditures to be budgeted as appropriations in that general fund. I guarantee you it's going to be a multiple choice question on quizzes that are upcoming. General fund, one fund, it's required. Okay. The general fund is called an expendable fund. Expenditures, as I mentioned earlier, are made within that fund. You also have a non-expendable fund, which is the proprietary fund. And in the proprietary fund area, the expenditure fund is a subgroup in that, or a sub-fund in that. In the enterprise fund, you will have expenses that are budgeted. You will have expenses that are budgeted. And again, a good example in the Wake County Public School CAFR for the enterprise fund is the child nutrition fund. Okay, I just want to take a second and re-emphasize homework. Like any accounting class, you must do the homework. You must do the homework. I'll repeat it a third time. You must do the homework. You need to do that to keep up with the class. You'll have specific homework assignments that are due and on specific dates, and they need to be turned in by that date. I even put a time that they are due on that day. You'll submit them through Blackboard. If it's a question and answer type thing, Word is a good way or vehicle to use to submit it. You may be preparing some financial statements, and Excel would be a good method to use for those assignments. You've also got the multiple choice questions that come up for each chapter. Keep up with them. I will have a certain due date on them, and this is hopefully to keep you up to date in the class. It is necessary for this online class for you to keep up. It is very important. And again, if you have any questions, concerns, do not hesitate to call me, contact me by email, or stop by my office during my office hours. If you'd like to call ahead, we can schedule an appointment if the office hours do not meet your needs as far as your schedule goes. Again, welcome to the class. Best wishes. Good luck with Chapter 1. You're diving into the information. We're going to have a good time. Remember, it's like learning a foreign language. You're going to be introduced to a lot of new terms. And the next tape, I will review some of the terms, and you'll get to see them written down on a chart that I've gone through in this tape. Again, welcome.